People on the other side right now don't believe me because they view me as successful. And they think everything coming out of my mouth is because I am successful. And I know the reason I'm successful is
Gary Vaynerchuk, better known as Gary V, transformed his family's wine business from a local shop into a $60 million e-commerce success, and then redefined what it means to build a brand in the digital age. He is a serial entrepreneur, a 5-time New York Times best-selling author, and the chairman of VaynerX.
I would argue that I did not use fear, I understood fear. In a world where people currently are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s don't realize that truth is the reason I was able to get to where I got to emotionally, not financially.
He co-founded VaynerMedia and hosts one of the top business podcasts on the planet. Love him or challenge him, one thing is undeniable. Gary doesn't just talk about the future, he builds it.
Every single person listening right now, you're treadmilling, you're walking the dog, you're in the car, you're like getting it, you're a bitch. Everything that is wrong in your life is your fault. Everyone here is capable. You could be a bitch and a complainer and a dweller, and all your circle is a bunch of other bitches and complainers, and you can get out. I somehow knew something that no one knows. I'm gonna say it as a secret. Do you know why I was candorous with myself always? Because
Gary, what shaped you more? Is it where you came from or what you've built now?
where I came from.
Why so easy? Why is that the easy answer, where you came from?
Because what I built allowed me that opportunity on the nuances and the actualities of where I came from, right? Where I came from came first. That's the steel and the concrete. What I've built was a byproduct of that foundation. Maybe what I've built has been the chandelier I picked or the drapery or how I painted the room, but the building was built on the things I went through as a child, and that is the steel and the concrete of the building of my world.
You know, I was listening to a really good podcast you did with Moshe Popek, the guy who has 11 kids. He's in Miami as well. And you were talking a lot about fear. And I thought that was interesting because you used fear to drive you. And I want you to talk a little bit about why fear is so important to you, because I think that most people that listen to this show, fear is the one thing that stops them from doing what they want to do. They can listen to all the advice, they get all the YouTube videos, they listen to you, they listen to all the people that have done it before, but it's whatever you want to label it as, imposter syndrome, fear, whatever. There's a label that they've applied to themselves and it stops them from moving forward. So you coming from a childhood that had fear in it, how did you, I don't even know how to say it, weaponize it to a degree so it was useful for you?
You know, it's funny, the way you asked the question, I think a lot of people would think that where we're going is that classic, like, you know, I'm going to show them, or, you know, it's that when you take that poison and you become a bad guy, actually, like, you know, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, they're very close, but they came from very different places. You know, I would argue that I did not use fear. I understood fear. I will tell you that my ability to understand fear was fake early in a world where people currently are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s and don't realize that truth is the reason I was able to get to where I got to. And I'm talking about emotionally, not financially. So, you know, in that interview, I talked a lot about a real fear of mine that I did not understand how to control, which was the fear of my parents dying. You know, I came from two parents who lost a parent very early. My mom lost her mom at 5. My dad lost his dad at 15. I had just come from the old country. People did not live. You know, if you died at 60 in the Soviet Union, you had a long life. Death, my great-grandfather, who was like my go-to guy when we first came to America, passes away pretty quickly when we're here. I lived through that. So there's this death thing going on, and that is worth fearing. You know, it is worth fearing, as we all sit here today, the death of the people you love the most. However, you're also fundamentally not in control of that. When that is your framework as a child, all of a sudden, bad grades, losing a fight, having a girl not like you, And then as we get older, losing a job, losing money, having the neighbor have a better car than you, all of a sudden everything feels very small. And what happens is when everything feels very small day to day, except this monumental tragic event in one's life, well, then life starts to feel very light. No shit, I was willing to bet the farm and give all my money to Facebook because if I had lost it as an investment in 2007, I would have been okay because no one was dying if I lost my money on Facebook. And that's it, brother. That's how I used it. I was so scared of it, the big thing, that it made everything else around me feel small. And then when I got to 18, it didn't happen,
Yeah.
right? I left the house to go to college and I became a big boy. And, even from in my 20s, I still feared it. In my 30s, it started to subside. In my 40s, it started to subside. And now I just turned 50. And honestly, I'm in house money now. I'm in fucking house money, boy. Like, I'm so grateful that, my parents are with us and they're young. I got lucky. They had me young. So, but like, I'm in house money. And so I'm chilling, like I won. And now everything else is secondary. And then of course you get older, have two children. What's worse than losing your parents? I don't even want to say it out loud. We all know what it is. And so you live life, you fall in love. All of a sudden, this person that used to be a stranger is put into the same category. You have siblings like I did along the way. They're now put in the same category as my parents. You have a best friend, Brandon Warnicki is in that category now. I get emotional about the thought of him. Like I'm feeling it right now, like of his passing. I secretly wish I died before him because I don't want to be there at that funeral. And so, um, man, everything's so easy for me, Scotty. Like, why am I a public figure? Because I can take the heat when people are like, Gary's full of himself, or fuck this guy, or he sucks, or he's overrated. I'm like, there's nothing that is so minuscule. Like, I don't even like, but on the flip side, Scotty, there's something pretty profound. Goes to humility. I would argue the people that know me best know my true secret, which is my confidence is not my superpower. It's my humility. In the same way that I don't hear them say, you stink, you suck, you're overrated, you're full of yourself, is the same way that I don't hear people when they put in my comments, you're the GOAT, you're this, you gave me some, or like a nice human like you gave me some nice pleasantries before we started. Those are compliments. And I don't think I'm better than because of those compliments. So you suck and you're the GOAT in my brain, in my soul, transfer the same way, which is 0. Like, thank you, grateful for you're the GOAT. And I'm sorry you feel that way. I hope everything's okay with you when you say I'm a piece of shit. That is how my brain sees it. I think it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, usually true.
And I move on.
You had such a deep fear that it made all the other bullshit kind of irrelevant.
Correct. And luckily my deep fear was worth fearing. My deep fear was not, I'm not going to be famous one day. I have to go to Hollywood and be famous. My great fear was not, I'm going to be a millionaire one day. I need to be a millionaire. Those were not my great fears.
So people, I don't think we'll generalize, which is not good, but we'll generalize. I don't think when people are trying to figure out their life and take action, they're worried about that. Everybody has that deep fear, but that's not the fear that's stopping them from taking action. So when people listen to you, because I'm sure you experience this, you'll meet somebody at a conference to listen to you, and then like 5 years later, they'll probably see you at another conference and they haven't done anything yet. I'm sure some have done a lot, but some haven't done shit, right?
It's a story of my life. I am sitting in rarefied air because I moved first in social and I was who I was talent-wise, where I've affected a scary amount of people's lives. It is like the great joy of my life. On the flip side, it means that I've not been able to break through to many more.
So why is that? Why when somebody has fear, not why is that? I know why it is. What's the message to people that are living with fear who don't take action? Because you can give them every single piece of advice under the sun and they still don't do it.
That one of two things are going to happen. Someone or something is going to come along and it's going to be the moment that changes your life and you will go on offense. You will switch the light switch or you will die a bitter 80-year-old.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I can say to someone right now who's listening, who's 43, who can feel in their tummy there's more. They need to get divorced. They need to double down on their relation. They need to fix their marriage. They need to start a business and quit a job. They need to get a promotion. They need to go tell their boss how they actually, like, whatever these things are, right? There's a lot of parents right now realizing they're raising spoiled kids, and the fear is to have the conversation, to cut the kid off. Like, there's a million things we all go through, right? Here is the answer. Either this podcast, what I'm saying right now, is going to make you do it. Something else is going to make you do it. A tragic event is going to make you do it. Something random and lighthearted is going to make you do it. Or nothing will happen. But if nothing happens, you will die more unhappy than you could have been. And the more you're not addressing it, and the deeper that thing is, the more angry and lonely you will be.
That's tough, dude, because I think that a lot of people have to hit that rock bottom before they take action.
I love rock bottom. I actually think I want to push more people to rock bottom. I actually think slightly hovering, like, I think more people need to drown. I think just having their mouth above water and that's their life forever is actually the problem. I prefer a rock bottom. How does a drug addict or an alcoholic switch it? They got to get to rock bottom. I want people to get to rock bottom faster. I'll give you an example. One of the things I believe in, and I'll say it right now with the hope that this triggers an action from someone, is every single person listening right now, you're treadmilling, you're walking the dog, you're in the car, you're like getting it. Like, we got you. Cause I feel like Scott's doing a great job. I do this a lot. Like, we're in it right now. We're in pocket. You're a bitch. Everything that is wrong in your life is your fault. The amount of people that are listening right now, Scott, that are straight complainers, and they have enablers around them, their mommy, their spouse, they have enablers around them, Scott. Like, I don't know, they're a bitch. And like, now people are triggered and like, Gary, what the fuck? Like, you don't get it. I had an abusive father. Like, everybody has adversities, but you're grown now. Like, you're 31. Like, when's it time to not blame mommy and daddy? Like, you don't like the politician. Like, I live in New York. Like, people are like, oh, the mayor. I'm like, move to Connecticut. Like, I don't know. Like, you're in charge. Oh, like, you don't get it. I have a shitty husband. Separate. Well, Gary, you don't get it financially. I'm like, get a job. Like it's really interesting. And it may sound like hard. It might sound like out of touch, which is so not it, but fine. You want to go there. Another excuse, by the way. It might sound hard. Get it. Truth. But it's intoxicating, Scott. Brother, so many people are struggling because they've given up the power to someone else, their spouse, their boss, their parents, a politician. I mean, all these politicians, all they do is weaponize fear to keep you in the cage mentally and emotionally. My friends, everyone here is capable. Everyone here is capable. You could be a bitch and a complainer and a dweller, and all your circle is a bunch of other bitches and complainers, and you can get out today. Like, this might have just, like, I might have just poked your zit and you're like, fuck it. Today's the day.
I hope.
By the way, anybody who really knows me knows these last 3 minutes was only for that, because I got nothing but love, nothing but warmth. I'm not trying to hurt feelings. I definitely don't think I'm better than. I'm coming from a place of desperation to shake someone who clearly nice isn't working. It's like kids, right? Like, nice. Sometimes you got to spank the fuck out of your guy. And I know that's not popular these days and it's not loud anymore, but I have a funny feeling Gen Xers and older who are listening right now, we know why we are fucking capable, because we got that little smack across the face when we disrespected. Now it's like a talk, or not even a talk. There's no consequences, no ramifications. Life has got to be balanced. We got to be purple out here. There's too much blue.
That's the number one piece of hate that I get when I talk about agency, when I talk about ownership, when I talk about taking control of your own shit in your own life. That's where I get the most hate online.
But it's not hate. It's where you get the most exposed hurt. It's not hate, Scott. You're not getting hate. You're getting people to come out and expose their weaknesses. You're not getting hate.
No, you're right. It's holding up a mirror.
100%. I'm poking zits in these last 5 minutes. out of such a good place. I'm fucking busy, Scott. I really shouldn't be doing this podcast. Real talk. I'm running a $500 million revenue, not valuation, the bullshit. My companies are going to do over $500 million this year. I have 7 meaningful companies. I got a lot of work to do. I really shouldn't be doing this. What the fuck am I doing the last 4 minutes? I'm trying to fucking help someone because it makes me feel good because I was taught that way and I love human beings. It's not hate. It's you're exfoliating, like you're exfoliating people. Like they're coming out, bro. The blackheads are coming out of the nose. They're just blackheads. Like in your nose, you're pinching it out, bro. You're pinching that. You're what is that? Hot steam, and you pinch it, and then the little shit comes out. The fucking oils or whatever the fuck that shit is. Like you're exposing. Has nothing to do with you when you're talking about you're accountable. Here's my point. If anyone on earth has ever made it, and I say made it by gotten to joy and potentially financial success.
Yeah.
If anyone ever has made it that looks like you, right? Well, then you have no excuse. If anyone who has been abducted, kidnapped, alcoholic father, beaten, mentally abused, if any person exists on earth that was able to get to the other side, empower the greatest skill a human can have, forgiveness, to dig them out of the depths, to go on to have joy and a great family and potentially even financial success, well, then I say there's an example, and now we have to talk about that. Because I get that you want to wallow in your mud, which allows you not to do anything hard. Scott, I could wallow. I got all sorts of shit. I love a good lazy. I did it all through school. I can lay in bed all day. No bullshit, Scotty. Like when I rest, I like a good lay in bed all day. You know, I get what it is. It just can't be my life. It needs to be the occasional gift.
You know what's interesting is you are super candid. I mean, you're living like the Kim Scott book. Like you are candid as fuck, and I think that's what's so refreshing, and I think that wakes people up. And I think that people
Publicly.
can what?
You be vulnerable publicly. Gary Vee's the most candorous motherfucker on earth. My kryptonite in my life, everything personally and professionally that has not gone well in my first 50 years of life was my inability to be candorous to the people I like the most.
But also with yourself. That's the thing I'm pulling out.
Well, it was funny. I was candorous with myself. In my 20s, it was a blind spot. I would blame a bad employee when I would fire them sloppily because I gave them no feedback, and it would just be this random out of left field firing. I would blame them because Ricky was working at the liquor store for 2 years, lazy. I would give micro feedbacks. I would use passive aggressive comments, razzes. I would try to get there, but it was never direct. And then I would fire him, and he'd be like, fuck you, dude. What the fuck? Where's this coming from? And he would walk out and leave the store. And the next several hours, I'd be like, what a fucking ungrateful fucker. Like, I fucking carried him for 2 years. I was overpaying him the whole time. He fucking was late. He wasn't good. It was in my 30s when I started being like, wait a minute, there's something brewing here, right? Like, I'm contributing to this. And it was in my mid 40s where I had the, I can see it now. It is this candor. Oh shit. When I'm on Scotty's podcast, I'm talking to the world. I'm not talking to anyone right now. I know I'm talking to everyone right now, and I'm talking to no one. But when I'm talking to an employee that's been with me for 4 years, or my cousin, or my grandma, or my dad, or whatever, like that candor was a real challenge. And now I'm on the other side, and I'm like a 5 or 6. Most of the attributes in life, I'm a 9 or 10 because my mommy gave me that DNA and she parented it, and my circumstances were right. I was a 1 or 2 on candor to loved ones. I'm at a 5 or 6 right now, which has been game changing at my companies, and I'm hoping to get to 7 or 8 before I go into the ground. Because I know I'll never get to 10. I know it. That's how ingrained the DNA is. Or maybe I will, and maybe I'm shortchanging myself, but fuck, man, I'm empathetic when something's not hardwired or taught to, because my mom's not candorous, and she's my North Star. And so, I get the trait from her. I was parented in that way. again, she's candorous in the macro, but not sometimes in the micro. And so that's life.
Quick question. What's your go-to when you got 10 minutes before a meeting or a workout? For me, it just used to be whatever I could grab, which usually meant skipping meals entirely or just grabbing something that left me crashing an hour later because it was just full of garbage. That's why I'm partnering with Huel. This black edition, ready to drink, is a complete meal. So it has 35 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, 35 essential vitamins and minerals. It is no sugar added, gluten-free, under $5. I always keep a few of these in my fridge. And honestly, it solved the whole back-to-back meetings, go, nonstop, no time to eat problem super well. And this one's new for me. It's Huel's Daily Greens. I had the blueberry this morning. Honestly, first impression, it was way better than I expected. It's developed by registered nutritionists and dietitians. There are 42 vitamins, minerals, and superfoods, only 25 calories, 4 grams of fiber, and just 1 gram of sugar. I throw one back first thing before my morning calls every single morning. Look, if you're running a business, time is the most valuable asset. Huel makes healthy eating simple, and they also just launched into Target stores nationwide, so you can get it everywhere. Try both products today with 15% off your purchase for new customers with my exclusive code SCOTT at huel.com/Scott. Try both products today with 15% off your purchase for new customers with my exclusive code SCOTT, SCOTT, at huel.com/Scott. Use my code, fill out the post-checkout survey to help support the show. That is huel.com/Scott. They really make healthy living taste amazing. Even if you're on the go, healthy eating, healthy lifestyle doesn't have to taste bad. It doesn't have to suck. NetSuite is the #1 AI cloud ERP. It's trusted by over 43,000 businesses. It's a unified suite that pulls your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM into a single source of truth. That connected data is what makes the AI smarter. It doesn't just guess, it knows. It can automate routine tasks, it can deliver actionable insights, and it can help you cut costs and make fast decisions with confidence. And now with the NetSuite AI connector, you can use the AI of your choice to connect to your actual business data and ask every question you've ever had. This isn't just another bolted on tool. It's AI built into the system that actually runs your business. So whether your company earns millions or hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you stay ahead. If I needed something like this for my business, I'd use NetSuite, and you should too. So if your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, get our free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/Scott Clary. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Scott Clary, netsuite.com/Scott Clary. So this is interesting. Candor with people who are outside of your friends, family, loved ones, easiest thing to ramp up for sure. People that you work with, fine. You learn it. I think most people listen to this will get that at some point. Loved ones, more difficult, but you're on a path, you're learning it. Still very important to set boundaries, to make sure that you have a good relationship with them. But then I mentioned yourself, which is probably the hardest because people are delusional and they lie to themselves and they can't be candorous with themselves. And I think that's what leads to a really shitty life.
Can I tell you something on
Yeah,
that?
I was going to ask, how do you get all 3 to 10, knowing that each level is more difficult?
I somehow knew something that no one knows. I'm gonna say it as a secret. All right, here we go. Psst. This is very interesting. Scott, do you know why I was candorous with myself always? Because I know something that most people don't know. If you are not candorous to yourself, but you know it, right? Like you know it, but you try to disguise it, right? You are only tricking other losing players. So the reason I've been very candorous with myself is I've wanted to be a top 1% human winner. And I know that no one can trick me. And so that means that I know that I can't trick the 1%. And everyone's living. The reason people aren't fully being candorous with themselves is they either know it. They're this self-dialogue. They're like, you suck at this. And you're like, no. But it's you. Don't forget, you're talking with yourself. So you actually know. It's not about the candor within oneself. It's the wanting to posture and trick everyone else about your shortcoming. Got it, brother? How the fuck can you be not candorous with yourself when you're having the self-dialogue and you're like, hey, asshole, you suck at this. And you're like, no, asshole, let's trick everyone and try to make them understand we don't suck at this. But I knew, because I was able to sniff out everybody because of my intuitive personal skills, that, and this became true in my 30s, 40s, and 50s when I started to get into rarefied air, The top 1% emotional winners on earth, you can't trick them anyway. So the only way you can win with them is by being truly authentic and candorous, thus rendering me very early in my life, somewhere in my mid 30s, early 40s, being like, oh shit, I'm keeping it 100 with me. Because when I'm in the room with the other 1%ers, and I don't mean 1% financial, I mean 1% emotionally intelligent, I am going to be 100 with them too, because I can't trick them anyway, because I know how much equity people have lost with me by trying to trick me. That is the nuance. That's the curveball of this conversation. So very simply, what am I saying, everyone? If you want to get more candorous with yourself, realize the following. If you think you're tricking someone, or your inability to sweep under the rug with yourself because you want to trick everybody else about this issue, please know the following. The only people you're fooling are fools. And you're actually losing equity with the people you actually want to win with.
The faster you are operating at 100% of yourself in this world, the happier, the more fulfilled you'll be. The faster you'll move in your business, your life, your relationship, everything.
That's right, because here's what happens. You start to like yourself more first. This new version of yourself starts to eliminate and attract. Bro, I love my circle, and I love my outer circle and my next circle. What's the difference? My inner circle, the fucking homies, girls and gals that are just about good life, meaning they don't give a fuck about anything that comes along with being me. Next circle, homies, good solid acquaintances to friends, but I know they're really not about me all the way or about themselves. It's transactional. It's about what can we do for each other professionally, emotionally. And that's, by the way, that doesn't bother me. Like everyone's got, like, I'm like Saturn. I got multiple rings. Like I don't need, there's some people that don't have a lot of friends because they need everything to be deep. I'm good with a lightweight acquaintance. I know a lot of people are like, whoa, 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 Gary, relationships are meant to be deep. No, no. Deep relationships are meant to be deep, and light relationships are made to be light. And the more community you have, the happier you are. I love a good fucking acquaintance. I love a good every 3-year check-in friend, Scotty.
Those are good. Those are good sometimes.
They're like little, like, they're not the steak, but they're a little like summer mashed potatoes. Others are like a little mousse bouche that the chef gives you. It's a little crouton with a fucking mustard on top. Like, there's all flavors out there.
What changed in 2026? Because I know that you, 2025, you were building business, Gary. You were building VaynerMedia and all the different, you have a whole co with a whole bunch of different companies underneath it. What's the 2026 Gary about?
Leaning more into brand Gary Vaynerchuk again, Gary V, and leaning more into V-Friends, my Pokemon Marvel Sesame Street, and living a motto, which I only live every 7 or 8 years, I'll come up with like a yearly motto. It's very rare for me to do stuff like this, but I have one this year, which is called intentionality and impact. I'm being very intentional around my 10 businesses, my 50 executives that are kind of roaming, that are homies, that are like doing different things within my ecosystem. And I'm measuring everything on impact. So it's a very sports year. It's a very, I like sports, so I'll use it. It's a very like one of those psycho football head coaches that like sleeps in his office to 4 a.m. and like for the big game. Like if the whole year is a week of a big playoff football game, I'm in the office watching film, talking to my players and my other coaches from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m, coming home, giving the family a kiss, sleeping for 4 hours, and going back out, like real intentionality, strategy. And then I'm going to measure the results on impact. Like if my players are trying hard in practice on Thursday before the big game, and they're trying hard and they're best kid, but they dropped 4 passes, like they may get benched. I can't measure on intent or loyalty or karma or vibes like I tend to like to measure on. 2026 has to be around impact. And that's because I feel like I do that every 5 years or so. Since COVID, it's been a different game for me, different circumstances, million different variables. And I don't know, I feel, and honestly, I'm just doing that because I intuitively feel I need it and I want it. And I want it for my organization and my people and the ecosystem. And I'm excited about it. It feels natural and intuitive. And that's why I'm even doing this podcast, right? I haven't done a lot of shows, but I want to be more out there because Gary Vee, the brand, is the top of the funnel of all my people will listen to this podcast, rediscover or discover me, or change their mind about me because I went deeper. It's not just one 30-second clip on social, right, Scott? And that may lead to them showing up to my pickleball team's game in Central Park this summer because they go down the rabbit hole of Gary. They learn about all the different things I do. And for them, taking their kids to a pickleball match in Central Park is the joy and all the good stuff they get from me in the next 9 months. That will be the thing. And like, I think about things like that.
So when you say you're measuring differently in 2026, you're measuring on impact as opposed to some of the other vibes, good feelings, whatever that list of things are. What does that actually mean though? Like, I mean, like, yes, you're top of funnel, you put yourself out there more podcasts, all that stuff, but what does impact mean?
I was talking to somebody on my team, on the VFriends team, who's been with me a long time, talking about VFriends social media. And she said XYZ, XYZ. And I said, but it didn't get any views. That was it. And that's not an answer. That is a Gary Vee answer, but it's not a Gary Vaynerchuk answer to that person around this issue the last 12 months. And it is now.
I got you.
It's just a merit year, you know, because I know that person works 12 hours a day. I know that person is carrying the load of other people. And it goes to like, hey, if you want to succeed, you may have to hold the people underneath you accountable. I, at my best, motivate and create safety. I, at my worst, create entitlement. Because I'm a superhero. I protect everyone. If I'm doing the hunting and the gathering for everyone, I always say, tough to be hungry if you've been fed. I, at my worst, feed everyone financially and emotionally.
You know, you're very specific about how you want to make impact in 2026. I know you speak a lot now about AI. You speak about AI influencers. You speak about live shopping. I saw your setup that's just set up for live shopping streams. So I hear you're speaking about Substack a lot. I know you just did a partnership and an investment into Stan. So there's a few key plays, right? So I want to understand, because you have a great ability to see shit way ahead of when the rest of the world sees shit. So I just mentioned a couple key things. We can go in a couple different directions, but out of those four things I just mentioned, what's the most exciting? Or pick one, not the most exciting. Don't stack rank them, but
because I now you primed everyone's palates. Let me bounce around and go rapid fire so everyone gets their lick on what they heard from you. I'm pumped about Substack because I'm happy for writers, even though Substack is becoming more of an overall social network because they got video. The fact that people that write fiction and nonfiction or journalism can actually get people to pay them $1.99, $3.99, $6.99 a month, that's now accepted. Not all content is free. And look, people can make a living. They used to be a third-tier writer at a magazine that wasn't giving them a chance. Now can be a personality on Substack and like keep all the economics for themselves. I'm intoxicated of this opportunity for writers. I am not one of those people. My writing comes from me talking and being turned into writing. Live shopping. There are millions of people trying to be famous influencers. Many of them do not have the ability, or destiny does not have it in them for them. However, they are destined and are capable of being salespeople. They are destined to be stars of the QVC meets social media era we're in, which is live social shopping, TikTok Shop, Twitch, whatnot, eBay Live. We're in this incredible era of this next massive opportunity, which is humans are stores and personalities and are selling in feed of these social media apps and these new standalone apps like whatnot. Huge opportunity. It is the side hustle. It is the career change. It is the empire that many people will build. They will sell stuff of their own or other brands' stuff on social and build huge, huge opportunities. Stan Store, investor advisor. It is a place to sell digital access or digital products. There are many people who have 1 million followers on Instagram, but don't get brand deals. They talk about cooking and they can make a $29 ebook, cookbook on Stan Store. Literally make posts on social, say go in my bio and buy the book, and will change their life. I've been blown away by people in this Stan challenge I did last year for 8 weeks that had never sold anything in their life, anything, and were able to sell digital products. That's hard, or one-on-one meetings or whatever they want. So I recommend people checking out Stan Store. What was the fourth one?
well, you talk about AI influencers, and that's
Yeah.
a big thing that people are
Yeah,
worried about.
Well, why would you worry about something that's an inevitable outcome? Like, I don't know why people were scared about AI. Like, we were scared about electricity, made the world better. We were scared about cars and planes, made the world better. We were scared about television, typewriters, the internet, home computers, mobile devices. Um, I know a lot of people are like, oh, but you don't get it, Gary, made the world worse. No, it didn't. You might have an ideology around, like the good old days. Like the data supports what I'm saying, not what you're emotional about. Like, do you know how many, Scott, for everyone who's worried about like losing a brand deal because of an AI influencer, they're going to have their mother live 7 years later because an AI is going to diagnose a cancer earlier than a human can. Like, this is a ludicrous conversation. Yes, people are going to lose their jobs. People lost their jobs when Google came out. There were 60,000 people selling Yellow Pages advertising that lost their jobs. I mean, like when the tractor on farms was invented, almost everybody worked on a farm 150 years ago. Everyone's like, oh, now everyone's going to be out of a job. No, we got better jobs. We built corporations. We built media companies. We built inventions. Like, I don't understand what people think. You might be in trouble. Like the person listening right now, you might be a 45-year-old designer that works in Adobe that doesn't have a single creative idea in your life, and you take dictation from someone and you go in Photoshop and make it, and now that is being replaced by Nano Banana. Like, yes, you might. But again, as this conversation started, this is coming. So where does accountability and self-reliance jump in? Like, this is life. This is life. Like we are all going to face adversities in the macro and the micro. You might have a perfect life right now. And tonight your spouse is going to tell you that they went to the doctor and they've been terminally diagnosed. Now you have a very shitty life. This is life. This is why I have gratitude so much, Scott. Today's a good day. No one died.
It's a great day. It is a great day. No, I think that people, they live in fear.
There's a lot of people that don't know me that just said, easy for you to say you won. No. I won because this is how I thought in my teens and 20s. Scott, you know who's interesting to interview? Not me. You should interview the people that knew me from 15 to 25. They'll give you the answers to the quiz. Because the people on the other side right now don't believe me because they view me as successful. And they think everything coming out of my mouth is because I am successful. And I know the reason I'm successful is because everything coming out of my mouth was there before I was successful.
People look for every single reason as to why they're not where they want to be. And AI is just another excuse.
Correct. And the answer is in such a very simple place, in your fucking mirror. I got the answer for all of you right now. Every one of you, I got good news. And I have to do this to myself too. So this is nothing I don't deploy against myself. Tonight and tomorrow morning, look at that mug in the mirror. That's the one. That's your problem. That's the issue. And I know you're used to hearing it. And it's cliche for a reason. It's out in the ether for a reason. It's called It's Fucking True. You are capable, no matter what you think. Listen, if you're so bougie that you're used to your luxuries and you don't have the humility to take a step backwards to make yourself actually happen, who's happy? Whose fault is that? Like if you have so much insecurity, AKA ego, that you can't trade in your BMW for a Toyota to get that extra $100 a month or 200 or 300 in your lease back into your pocket so you can save for a year to then do the thing that you're saying you don't have the money for. Well, whose fucking fault is that? The government's?
It's just yours. It's just yours.
Scott, do you know how many people blame Trump for all their problems and then blame Biden for all their problems? And now we're blaming Trump again for all their problems. I have a huge company that analyzes the sentiment of everything being said on social media. Like, Scott, do you know there's a 39-year-old woman right now listening to this that blames everything on their mom? They're 39, Scott. Was it 22? Was it 18? Was it 25? Was it 30? Was it her 31st birthday? When was she supposed to take on the accountability? And meanwhile, she's spending money on dumb shit. How about therapy? How about meditation? How about exercise? How about listening to podcasts like this 24/7? Kudos for listening to this. Like, where is accountability in your ecosystem? I blame myself for shit that's logically not my fault. I'm going to say that slow. It's an important sentence. I blame myself for shit, circumstances, issues that logically are clearly not my fault if the world judged it. They're like, no, Gary, why are you doing that? Sam was such a dick. Well, I didn't have to engage with Sam. I could have sniffed out Sam. Scott, do you know how many people say that they get walked all over? I say nice guys finish first a lot, and I get so many people triggered by that. Fuck that, Gary. You have no idea. You're so delusional. I'm a nice guy, get shit on. I'm like, you're not a nice guy. You're a manipulator. You're doing nice things with the expectation of someone doing something nice in return. Being nice and being kind and giving means without expectation.
Indeed is a success story partner. Now, if you're hiring, Indeed is all you need. Let me give you an example. If I needed to hire a new editor for this show, I'd go to Indeed and be super specific. Not just, can you edit audio? I'd say I need someone who's edited a conversational podcast for at least 3 years, gets our style, and knows our software. Someone who's done this before. And here's the thing with Indeed sponsored jobs. I'd get people who fit that description. I'm not digging through resumes from people who've edited one YouTube video. I'm getting actual podcast editors who know what they're doing. People who've worked on shows like ours and can prove it. That's what makes a difference. You get people who actually are what you're looking for. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. And people are finding quality hires right now. In the minute that I've been speaking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all the boxes, less stress, less time, and more results now with Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/Clary. Just go to Indeed.com/Clary right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Clary. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. HubSpot is a success story partner. And if you're into this show, you're probably someone who likes learning from people who've actually done the thing. That's why I want to put Create Like the Greats on your radar. It's a great show. It's hosted by Ross Simmons, part of the HubSpot podcast network. Ross breaks down some of the greatest creations and creators of all time, what they built, how they thought, the actual process behind it. And he's not just talking theory. He's been doing this stuff for over a decade. What I appreciate is that he makes it practical. Like, how do you actually systematize creativity so you're productive, but you're not burning out? So if you like learning from history, understanding how great work gets made, and you want something that's easy to listen to, check it out. Listen to Create Like the Greats wherever you get your podcasts. Do you think, because you are the epitome of why I created this podcast. You're the epitome of tactical plus mindset. That's the goal, right? Do you think that your mindset and the things you talk about, because you keep going back into it and leaning back into it, and I gave you the floor and you could have gone into operator mode and talked about the most tactical Substack, AI, and you do, but the question...
Scott, I apologize for interrupting you. Everyone, don't get mad at me, but I'm going to a moment. Scott, I know they can all chat GPT it, bro. How do I use Substack? I'm a lawyer. Ready? Let me help. I own a flower shop. I listen to Gary Vee on Scott Clary's podcast. He talked about Substack. This is literally the prompt in audio form to ChatGPT. I listened to Gary. I want to use Substack to drive my business. What are the 5 best tactics? The fucking tactics are worthless, Scotty. Why you're not doing the tactics is the interesting part. Why you don't have the discipline. Why you don't have the habit. Scott, me and my trainer just had such a great morning today. I wanted to go into the gym today with the same energy that you want someone to come to your house right now with a sword and cut your face off. And I woke up and I did not want to go. And I was thinking about everything I could text him. Look at my throat, mate. Like, listen, I'm a human. Like, I'm like, you know? And I fought and I got there and we did soft tissue and I'm working on reactivating my glute med because mind muscle detached from me at 18 when I hurt my back and trying to get my adductor and QL better. This is for all the trainers, everyone. I'm going through a great mission and all this. And like, man, the joy I had leaving the gym this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, leaving the gym at 8 o'clock in the morning after being working last night to midnight because I'm in the trenches of crypto Twitter, building up VFriends NFTs because NFTs are rising again. The greed era is over. We're in the collector era and all this stuff, right? And like, I know what it feels like to be lazy. I don't want to work on my health and wellness. I want to eat garbage and never work out. It is in me. It was how I was brought up. I don't want it. I hate it. And for the last 12 years, I have fought daily to be better, and it has profoundly been good for my life. I want people to do that around their self-esteem versus their insecurities, and I want them to do that around their work ethic and their business strategies and things of that nature. But the business strategies are declining in value. The mindset's increasing in value.
It's rare. It's very rare. Not that was the question. The question was, what do you think has the most impact? When you're measuring for impact, is it the tactics? Is it the strategies? Is it the mindset? And I believe the same thing. You can Google every single tactic on earth. Building a business is hard work, but it's not complicated. Everything you got to do.
And there's people like me that you're right. I got some weird ass luck of pattern recognition and curiosity and like, yeah, man, I do intuitively have a little bit of like, I've got the gift, no different than Beyonce's got a voice gift and LeBron's got a bass. I have a gift of taking very early information and kind of knowing how the checkers are going to play out while everyone, how the chess moves, excuse me, are going to play out while everyone's still figuring out if it's a game of checkers. I'm already into checkmate in chess. That is my great business skill. I'm very grateful for it. And the fact that I am intellectually generous. And by the way, I'm talking about me right now. There's a lot of people like me that we live in a 2026 world where you have characters like me that are running around that can actually see around quote unquote corners. And then out of being perfectly parented by the best mother of all time, want to go out and give that information away for free at scale and are good at it. So it shows up in your feed. What? The only thing that's left is your relationship with yourself, how you feel about you. Scott, I think I'm the best of all time. I'm acutely aware I'm not, but that's how I feel. And that's the starting point of me being kind to everyone else. Because you can't be kind to everyone else if you're not kind to yourself. No wonder everyone's a dick face. They hate themselves. But my question to all of you that just resonated with that is why? Because if you do not like yourself, I want to remind you that someone else put that in your mind that is not your true essence with you. And I am here to take that shit out of your mind.
You need zero validation from anyone else, but I think that ties into something that a lot of people struggle with. I think they're always looking for outside validation.
Yeah, I think I got so much validation from my mom and from the merit of results in business and sports that it became my framework, right? I had this loving parent, and then I was addicted to merit. All I cared about was business and sports. School's not merit, Scott. Class participation is subjective and 35% of some grades. Sports is merit. Miami lost last night. We're filming this right after the national championship. I have no idea when Scott's doing. That's for context. Miami University lost to Indiana.
I know, I'm in Miami.
Yeah, they lost.
I know.
Right? Now, they had an incredible year and actually made a great run, but they lost and Indiana won, right? VaynerX does $400 million in revenue. We have one of the biggest agencies independent in the world. People can say Gary Vee, you know this about me maybe because you're like really in tune. People sometimes in my comments are like, what does this guy even do? Because they think I'm a motivational speaker.
I know this. I know what you do because I'm in the marketing world, but a lot of the people that my peers who know you have no idea.
Correct. That's not subjective. When people are like, what does this fucking guy do? All you do is yap, yap, yap. Like, okay, but I also do this. Then even deeper, some of the biggest things I've ever done, I don't even talk. I was the co-founder, co-created the idea with Ben Leventhal of Resy, the restaurant app. I co-created that. Even people that do research on me don't know that. I started a wine brand called Empathy Wines that I sold for tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars to Constellation Brands. That is a huge success of a creator creating a brand. the thing that Logan Paul or Mr. Beast or others get a lot of accolades for, most people don't even know that part of my story. I do many things. My sports agency is red hot. My restaurant group is red hot. I'm building the next fucking Pokemon in people's faces and they can't even see it. I'm one of the most successful authors. I'm one of the most compensated public speakers in the world. And most of all, I'm a nice guy. And guess what? Most people don't know that. And I'm okay with it, brother. It keeps me up. I can rant on it right now when you bring it up as a context point. I'm saying all this to explain to people, I don't need the cheering. I need to see if I'm good or not. I'm curious, Scott. I want to see if I can build all these. Am I the greatest business juggler of all time or not? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Why? Why are you trying to figure that out? Why have you, because that's one thing that I didn't figure out. Why don't you go all in?
Because it's fun. It's more fun. I'd rather make less money and be happy. I like it. It's joyful. I'm creative. I'm a little bit more creative. I'm a little hippy dippy. I'm a little bit more like fucking a nomad. I'm like, I'm like one of these funny fucking, I'm like, like one of these funny people. I'm funny, bro. If I didn't have business, I'd be like a really interesting, like gypsy kind of weird ass dude. Long beard, talking about spirituality. Like, I don't know, because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm creative. That's it. It's fun. It's more fun for me to juggle 11 businesses, 3 break and fail, 8 do well, but they make half the money if I went all, this, Scott. If I went all in on VaynerMedia, it'd probably be doing 2.3 billion right now. I'd have a lot more money. But I didn't want money when I didn't have it. The fuck do I want money now when I have it?
What do you say no to?
I need to say no to a lot more. One of my great weaknesses is I'm obsessed with maybe skewing to yes. But I say no to, I say no to people wanting to do anything during 2 things right now in my life for sure. Sundays when the New York Jets play, or when my son has a basketball game. That is no. No, no, no. I say no to my teams when they're presenting information that means nothing. I say no to 1-hour meetings when I know they're 15 minutes. I say no to my leaders who are trying to deploy manipulation or politics on their teammates. I say no to the universe of people that are listening right now when they want to blame anybody but themselves.
What scares you now?
The death of my family.
Still.
Nothing else. Literally nothing else. Everything else is controllable. Gary, you scared of like a civil war in America? I'm like, no, bitch, I'll go to New Zealand. I don't know, and by the way, I can afford to go to New Zealand in a good way, but I have the mentality of going to Peru with $1. So now what? How do I lose, Scott? They freeze my assets here. Like, let's say, like some weird civil revolution in America, and they freeze my assets. 1, I got $1 million buried in the backyard. 2, let's say I can't get to it because I got to go now. I'll start from the beginning in Peru with my family. We'll go. We'll have a garden. It'll be nice out. Let's go. Like, who gives a fuck?
I love this. I love this idea. This is something that has made me able to take risks. The idea of like, who gives a shit if it fails, if worst case scenario happens, if everybody's alive, healthy, well, you wake up tomorrow, nothing else matters.
How can I live in a world where you start a podcast in a year and be like, did you guys hear Gary lost all his money, made 5 bad decisions? I guess everybody was right. I was a fan. I had him on the show 4 years ago. Like, I guess the guy was over his skis. Like, he wasn't as good as we all thought. Like, why would I live my life on that? Who gives a shit? I'm going to live my life on tattletaling and gossip? The fuck are we in, 4th grade? Friends, we're not in 4th grade. I'm not worried about the whispers. And let me tell you, Scott, to adversity. If I could go through my childhood in the 80s and early 90s in New Jersey, where grown-ups, my friends' parents and teachers, looked me dead in the face as a 9-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, and said, you are going to be a loser in this earth. If I could deal with that, well, of course I can deal with everything now as a grown-up. This is why adversity is good. They said I was going to be a loser because I got bad grades, everyone. They couldn't see the charisma. They couldn't see the salesmanship. They couldn't see the competitiveness. They couldn't see the tenacity because that was the rules of society back then. And I think today we don't see the kindness. I think we all don't judge people enough by how kind they are. But I think those will be next generation winners. In fact, that comic book, I don't know if you do video, Scott.
Yeah, bro, we got a good YouTube. Put it up there. Kind Warrior.
I want every kid on earth to fall in love with this. Kindness is the ultimate strength. I'm like literally making, like, I'm living my truth. I'm going to make a fucking feature film out of this, Scott. I'm going to have everybody lined up at the Chinese theater in LA. I'm going to make Kind Warrior fucking Superman if it's the last thing I do. Why? Because kindness needs to be put on a pedestal. Not money, not followers, not check marks, not status, not handbags, not Mercedes, not private planes. Kindness, motherfucker. Who the fuck are you? Not what do you have?
I feel like the world has lost a lot of kindness since COVID.
Yeah. And bro, it was good news. It's been happening because we become more materialistic. I love capitalism. I'm an entrepreneur, but extreme capitalism, and technology, I love, as we talked earlier, but we don't have respect for our elders anymore. We've lost civility. Politicians have become complete shitheads. They're like fucking teenagers. And parenting has not held accountability. We need more moms smacking their 14-year-old son when they're disrespectful. A lot of things have happened. It's not one thing.
You know what? I need your last opinion on this because this is real. I feel like social media is the most powerful tool for good, but also for bad. And I think that social media is to blame for a lot of lack of kindness.
I don't think so. I think it's the great exposer. There is no social media. Scott, there is no social media.
It's just people.
Do you blame podcasts for ruining the world?
Never.
Okay. Well, guess what? There's a lot of podcasts that spew unlimited hate. Brother, there is no social. There is no podcast. There's humans using social. There's humans using podcasts. This is a parenting pandemic of the last 40 years. This is a mature empire issue. This is an entitlement issue. This is a self-esteem and insecurity issue. And this is a lack of loving yourself issue, which then shows your worst because then you start hating others because you started with yourself. We need to get to some real old school values, and we need people that are in good places like myself spewing love and hope, but practical optimism. I'm not out here on some delusional, this is the secret, everything's kumbaya. You have to fucking work.